Hello, my name is Gerard Thompson, and I'm here to introduce my idea of why I believe there are some important variables that I think will be important to the FBI, and I think that there should be more focus onto them. But first, let's to dive into it real quick. Um, we all know that variables are important when conducting criminal investigation and doing research, and so in terms of science, the two most commonly and important variables are independent variables and dependent variables. Independent variables, as we all know, is something that can be changed or even could be controlled in scientific experiment. While on the other hand, the variable that's being tested or measured is called a dependent variable. So just get that out of the way. A classic example, of course, would be seeing how long it would take for, or testing to see how much sleep a student needs that that affects their test scores. And so the independent variable would be the length of time that the student is sleeping, and the dependent variable would be the test score themselves. I do, yeah, and we all agree that when it comes to these variables, or finding the most important variables to figuring out the figuring out the crime rate and investigating crime is very important. And I think it's important to touch on the two more important variables, in my opinion, that I believe the FBI should focus more on. One, and they're both economics, the economics, and a citizen's attitude towards crime itself. Now, for economics, this is an important um, variable because depending on the poverty level, some of these cities and towns that are struggling when it comes to finances tend to have a lot more crime rate happen within them as opposed to other cities and towns in their states. And this could be due to lack of job security, and not enough availability for jobs, and so people tend to resort to like doing illegal crimes like selling and trafficking drugs and other things in order to get some form of income for their household. And second thing is the second variable that we want to talk about is the citizens' attitudes towards crime, which is important because in those same areas, some citizens tend to be more quiet and don't want to expose the person who's committing the crime, and this could be due to the individual being related to them, or people feel pity that the person has gone down that road of a life of crime, so they tend not to like talk about it because that's how they feel about why the crime is occurring. And so now you're probably wondering, okay, how do we solve this? Like how do we measure this exactly so that we get good indicator of how do we fix these variables or measure these variables for the citizens crime towards attitude part. The crime surveys that are being put out, I believe, should be more mandated, and I think there should be a couple more rules added, which emphasizes the point of lying or not revealing information that could be beneficial towards stopping the criminal or identifying the criminal can lead to like either hefty fines or potentially get arrested for negligence and like lying to the authorities. That's I believe that should be addressed or implemented. And the second thing when it comes to economics is I believe there should be more research and more background check on the cities that are underdeveloped and have very low income households and just low income in general. And I think those cities should be investigated a bit more on the amount of illegal drug selling or drug trafficking that's going on within those cities and towns. And I think it would be very beneficial for the citizens there as well. And so yeah, that's all that I have at the current moment. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.